I have been teaching entrepreneurs how to find and qualify amazing factories in China. And I tell you, one of the most important steps is to evaluate the factory's production systems. Prevention is better than cure, for sure, right? But after sourcing hundreds of products from China, what I haven't told you is that the weakest link that connects it all is your sales agent. My name is Dwayne Scott, and I've worked with factories in China for over 13 years, building supply chain systems to streamline the manufacturing process. A factory is a system. It's a sequence of guided steps. And the first mistake is thinking the factory is just the four walls, machines, and a price list. But if the factory is a system, then who is actually carrying your order through that system? So let's say you're on Alibaba, so you're doing it online, or you're at the Canton Fair doing it in person. You make an inquiry and someone on the other side replies quickly. They send you a quote, maybe arrange a sample, confirms the MOQ, and then says, no problem. Have you experienced that? You think the communication feels smooth, and you, the buyer, assumes everything is under control. But the hidden truth is this: the sales agent is not just a communicator. The sales agent is the bridge between you and the factory system. Your sales agent is the driver and has to translate your requirements into factory action. That is not just customer service. That is supply chain coordination. So let's get straight to the point. The sales agent is literally your factory. And once you understand that, the next question becomes even more important. How do you know if that person can actually move your order through the system effectively and efficiently? You see, you know what you want. You know what your product looks like, the colors, the features, the logos, and the factory may have the ability to produce it. But if the person in the middle does not understand the details, does not ask the right questions, does not understand the process, or does not know how to push the factory internally, your order becomes vulnerable. Because when you order and it enters production, the person you communicate with every day is usually not the factory owner or the production manager. It is your sales agent. And when something goes wrong, you need a problem solver, not a communication expert. So over the next few minutes, I want to show you how to evaluate that person. And together, we're going to build a simple framework that you can use with any factory for any product to build your awareness. So what does a strong sales agent look like? In my experience, a strong sales agent has 3 characteristics that will make or break your order. So the first one is a strong sales agent understands English very well. The first thing I look for is not just someone who can speak English. I look for someone who can communicate well, understands the details, and answers my questions clearly. Remember this: in China, many people can speak English, but we want to avoid misinterpretation and misunderstandings. So, how well are they answering your questions? Do their answers make sense? Can they explain the idea back to you clearly? Remember, this is your project. This is your deposit. If they are struggling to answer your questions, I have a suggestion. Ask for a replacement or move onward to another supplier. The second characteristic is that they understand the process. They are the ones who know where problems usually happen. They understand the materials, the limitations of manufacturing, and they are well enough to anticipate what can go wrong. They will stop and ask the right questions. Please confirm this detail, or this spot may be difficult in mass production, or something like, we should check this first with the engineer. That is what I want to hear. If they do not understand the product or the process, now it doesn't always mean they are incapable, but it does mean they may not be the right person to carry your order through the system. Now, the third characteristic is a strong sales agent has a really positive attitude. A strong agent is usually focused on serving customers. They take immense pride in getting the job done for the people who have trusted them with a deposit. From my experience, they never think only about getting orders for a commission. They really focus on serving. What they know is that a repeat order is more important than a first order. So the deeper question is, who is the person standing inside the factory system with your order? That person understands that each step depends on the previous step. So if one part is not clear, the whole order can become unclear. So if your sales agent can strengthen or weaken the entire system, how do you evaluate them before you pay the deposit? That's critical. So we use a MAP framework, and it has 5 pillars to it. But the first one is the mindset. Most buyers evaluate the price, but we are business owners and we focus on all the weakest links. We evaluate the agent moving the order through the factory system. Because 2 factories can look similar from the outside, same product, same sample, similar price, but one sales agent can move the system and the other one can only pass on messages. Now that difference matters, and it matters a lot, because we are investing in a factory relationship for repeat orders, right? Higher quality and a fair price. So what if the factory is capable, but the person carrying our order cannot move the system? Because you got to remember, capability on paper means very little if the sales agent responsible for your order cannot turn that capability into real action. So we need to take an approach, and it's very simple. Remember, you do not need to become the expert. You just need to confirm 5 checks. And the first one is experience in this niche. Ask them, how many years have you worked in this industry? How long have you worked at this factory? And what type of export orders have you handled before? Are some of your customers in the USA, Europe, or other Western markets? Because then we know they are familiar with higher quality standards. You are not just looking for years, you're looking for relevant experience, problem-solving experience. But experience alone does not guarantee competence. The next question is whether they actually understand the product and process they are managing. The second check is we got to know if they have product and process knowledge. Ask them, what are the common mistakes with this product? What details should I confirm before sampling? What problems usually happen during mass production? Then ask them to explain the production process step by step like you don't know. And what machines make this, or what are the different steps if made by hand? Now, you do not need to be the expert. You just need enough confidence that they know what they are talking about. Here's a good one. Tell me what kind of mistakes happen in production. This is one of my favorite tests because a real expert can tell you what can go wrong, but a beginner will only tell you what can go right. And a real expert, a really good sales agent, they are very patient with you. Now, can they actually verify what is happening on the production floor? So the third check is production access. Ask them, can we do a live video call to visit the production line together? And can you introduce me to the factory engineer or technician? Show me the QC, the final checking area, and show me how they are doing it. Your sales agent is your eyes and ears in China, helping update you and report what is happening when you are not there. So you want to know whether this person is hands-on and can verify information directly from the production line. Not only repeat what someone else has told them, but access to the process is important because production truth usually lives on the factory floor, not in the sales message. So ask questions. Is your sales office inside the factory? Because some sales agent report only from behind a computer in a totally different city. But a disconnect from the production floor is not the same as being next to the engineers, understanding the update, and knowing how to solve a problem. We want someone who can understand information flow and move the order forward and explain what is happening clearly with accurate and timely updates. Because access to production is really valuable. But what really matters is what's happening when something goes wrong. And this we need to find out. So the fourth check is problem-solving ability. Let's ask them, what happens if production is delayed? What happens if the post-production sample is wrong? What happens if QC finds a problem? Who gets involved? How do you solve these issues? Can you tell me about the last production problem you helped solve? You see, you are testing whether this person has a process. A weak sales agent will say, no problem, or we will take care of it. But a strong sales agent explains what happens in detail, who will get involved and who will take responsibility. Always remember, prevention is always better than cure. Wouldn't it be best if the entire system to resolution is figured out ahead of time, not when a crisis hits the shop floor with your order? And when a serious decision needs to be made, one final question remains. Who actually has the authority to move the system to resolution? The fifth check is access to the alibaba. You need to ask them, if there is a serious issue, can you bring in the boss? Can you introduce me to the factory owner, the alibaba? Can the alibaba get involved if the order is under pressure? The sales agent does not need to be the boss, but they need access to that person who can move the system. Remember, the alibaba is your insurance policy when a serious decision needs to be made. And always remember, things always go wrong. This is manufacturing. Now, a strong sales agent will always say, we can do it, but we need to confirm details first. So, after asking these 5 checks, how do you know whether to move forward or slow down or just pause? We need to know whether we are progressing, right? So we decide whether to move forward or slow down, and we do that based on facts, not emotions. So here are some green flags. Did they diagnose your order properly? Did they have direct access to the production floor? How many years of experience do they have in your niche? Do they work directly with engineers, the QC? Can they explain the QC process clearly? Do they communicate in English well? Is communication transparent? And some red flags. Do they answer questions with no problem? Do they wait for instructions instead of asking questions? Do they push for the order before answering all your questions? If production is not readily visible, can they explain that? Does communication feel slow? Does it feel like it's grinding, friction? Do they have access to the decision maker? Now, one red flag doesn't always mean you walk away immediately, but it means you slow down. So always choose 7 to 11 factories. And here's a strategy. Ask the same questions and watch whether the answers are similar or not. Compare the responses. You see, how well they explain things matters. And if you hear similar answers, then you know that you're in the right direction with the right process. But a weak sales agent passes messages along, and a strong sales agent will go to the production line. A weak sales agent protects the sale, but a strong sales agent protects your order. And this leads to one of the biggest mindset shifts I have learned after sourcing from China for over 13 years. Here's the transformation. A sales agent does not need to be perfect. They just need to take action, create a response, and support your order, and keep the process moving forward before problems become expensive. All right? So the goal is for you to become more decisive about who can actually support your order beyond the pretty website photos and sales talk. Perhaps before watching this video, you may have thought, I need to find a good factory. And yes, you need a good factory. You need systems, capacity, QC, production experience, and reliability. But keep in mind, you also need the right person inside that factory. Your order is a sequence of steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you are far away, when you've left China, you need the best guide that can manage those steps. This is beyond price and beyond MOQ. This is about competence and reliability. And in my experience, this is one of the biggest mindset shifts from buyer to business owner. A buyer asks, what is your price? A business owner is more concerned about systems. Who is responsible for my order? How experienced are they? And can they solve problems inside the factory? That, my friends, is the shift. You are no longer just evaluating the suppliers. You are evaluating the people who operate inside the supplier system. And if you're sourcing products from China, use this map framework to qualify your factory. You can download the map for free in the description. And maybe your next step is to watch how to evaluate a factory's production systems with 5 steps. And if you want to build a smarter China supply chain, how about subscribing to the channel? Because here we do not just look for suppliers, we build supply chain systems.